Wrestling fans, promoters, wrestlers, and anyone who enjoys pro wrestling now have something new to be excited about. The Wrestling Fans International Association, the WFIA, is back. WFIA is an association that exists to promote, grow, and support professional wrestling throughout the world. Membership is free. Your membership includes a free digital bi-monthly publication of the Wrestling Fan News newsletter, association updates, voting privileges, and much more. Please go to thewfia.org, that's THEWFIA.org, and become a member today.
This is going to be a premiere episode of PWZ. Here on W.O.N Sports, I have the premier Luis Leon here with me today. Maya is one of the young, good, great prospects here in the world of professional wrestling in New England. How are you today, sir?
I feel amazing, and I do truly appreciate you saying that. I am the greatest prospect in all of professional wrestling today. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. I have to say that I have not been disappointed in the product that I see that you're putting out at all. However, I do want to talk about your beginnings in the world of professional wrestling, discovering it and all that other stuff. So tell me, as a youngster, you're actually quite a bit younger than me, so you might have discovered it when I was kind of tired of professional wrestling in a way. So when did you discover, and what made you decide to get into this wacky world of professional wrestling?
Well, it was in 2004, and it was the lead up to No Mercy that year. It was with Brock Lesnar and Eddie Guerrero for the WWE title. And honestly, I didn't really follow too much of it. Like my cousin would show me it. My cousin Steven would show me it all the time, and I would be like, all right, this is cool, but can you put Toy Story back on? I was 4 years old.
Right.
So, but yeah, I was watching this lead up, and I was like, wow, guy is like super cool. He's Latino. He's not the biggest guy in the world. Like, this dude is a freaking tank. And then that inspired me to like watch it more. And even guys like Rey Mysterio, when he won the world heavyweight title in 2006, I was like, holy crap, this guy is the smallest dude in the world. And I'm not the biggest guy in the world. And he did it, which means like, yo, I can do that too. Like, and it really like opened my eyes. I'm like, okay, you don't have to be the biggest guy in the world to make your dream come true. And that's basically what I'm doing. I'm making my dream come true. And, my dream becomes the nightmares for many other people in the business. I mean, come on.
I've seen.
Yes. But truly though, I was watching wrestling with my cousin Steven, my cousin Brandon. My grandmother was super into it. She absolutely hated. She was telling me all these stories about hating Fabulous Moolah and everything. She hated AJ Lee. She hated Triple H, and it was great. Like, my family is like really wrestling oriented, and we all love wrestling. We all follow wrestling, and me being the first in the family to actually pursue it, they were all like very surprised, but also not surprised in a way.
That's pretty amazing, actually, when there's wrestling families, so to speak. I'm the only one in the family, really, that watches wrestling. I've been watching it for 40 some odd years. I got my little 8-year-old that goes to shows with me if I'm not working shows. I'm not announcing it. He has a great time. He loves it. So it's kind of amazing. It really is. And Eddie Guerrero, to be an influence, is I've spoken to so many people that he is like really, because he broke a mold, I guess you could say, in a way.
Yeah.
He was not your typical. He wasn't Hulk Hogan or anything like that. He was, like you said, he was in WWE at that time. He didn't have anybody really like that.
Yeah.
Of him. Well,
Really.
Pedro Morales in the 70s, but that really didn't last nearly as long,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he broke the mold for a lot of Latinos in
Yeah.
wrestling, and him winning the WWE title. I mean, you already see it from the reaction from the crowd that night at the Cal Palace. Like that drew so much inspiration from so many people. Like you hear in interviews with almost every wrestler today.
Mhm.
Eddie Guerrero is the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
He is their inspiration, and there's a reason for that because he inspired this entire generation with his style in the ring, his respect for the ring, his charisma, when talking on the microphone better than everybody else. I mean, there's not really much that you can actually say that's negative about Eddie Guerrero.
Mentioned another guy, Rey Mysterio, that when I saw either of these guys, I remember the first time I saw both really because my first exposure to Eddie was he was teaming with Art Bar, Beetlejuice, in AAA. They did the When Worlds Collide pay-per-view, which WCW was sort of a part of. They aired it on American television. And it was Rey Mysterio was in I believe it's a 6-man tag, a trios match. If I remember correctly, it's been a long time, 1995. Now, to watch those two gentlemen there, and I think maybe a year later they popped up in ECW, maybe. Mm-hmm. To see those two gentlemen there and then to pop up in ECW, I never imagined that either of those two men would become two of the biggest professional wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling ever. And it happened. And the talent there amongst those two gentlemen is amazing.
Truly. And one of my favorite matches with Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio is their Halloween Havoc in 1995 and 97, I believe. Sorry. And watching that match, watching the stakes in that match, I think, and like Rey Mysterio's mask was on the line, Eddie Guerrero putting his title on the line, and even their stuff in 2005, the custody of Dominic. that was wild, but it's still made for for a good like in ring.
It influenced Dominic's career in a way, and his current storylines in a way. You know what I mean? However, probably how many years ago was that? Probably 12 years ago, 12 years later, or something like that. So it's kind of amazing to think about that storyline over Dominic custody was so influential in the modern era.
17. I think that was 17 years ago.
Wow.
Or 18 years ago.
I'm getting old. Jeez, this is So you got into professional wrestling. How long ago did you get into the professional wrestling?
I started training at Showcase Pro Wrestling in December of 2019.
Okay.
And I was able to make my debut just 3 months later on March for their big show, for their big yearly show called March Bursary. And I put in a good effort. I put in a good effort in the match, but that stupid oaf, Big Matt Thompson, eliminated me because he sucks and he's jealous. But I try. I tried.
Yeah, I mean it's your first match. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you progressed pretty well in order for them to put you in relatively quickly.
They were saying that that I was able to progress rather quickly because honestly, it all just like was it all just like came to me like throwing a fish in the water,
Right.
like uh, it it just I just had to swim. There was no other option for me. This
Mm.
is something that I've wanted to do my entire life. I made the decision when I was 17 in high school that instead of going to college, I'm going to save up my money and find a wrestling school. And and that's what I did. I wanted to do wrestling. I wanted to do wrestling my entire life. I've always dreamt of doing this, and you know, I had to progress quickly. Uh, Otherwise, someone else would have taken that spot, and somebody else who would be doing this podcast with you right now. I had to do it. If it wasn't me, then who else, right? It
Right.
would have
Right.
been the Joe Schmo. So I had to.
So what was your family's initial reaction to the were they for it? Were they against it?
Oh, they were
I know
definitely.
you I know
They
you said
were
you had a wrestling family that they're really into it.
Yeah, they were all in for it. Like my mom was excited. My mom was still extremely excited. She still comes to the shows. Um, I got uh my uncle, he's like the loudest guy in the room. Uh, anytime he shows up to a show, everybody in the locker room is like, "Yo, Lewis, is that your uncle?" I'm like, "Yeah." And part of my family, and this like 100%, but they were also worried for me, obviously, because of safety and everything. Um, in my first match, when I was getting lit up with chops, like my chest looked like raw bacon the next morning. Like I still have the photo in my phone of the day after I took it, the day after my first match, and it was just all like red. You can see like right here where my collarbone is, it almost split. Uh, uh,
Oof.
yeah, that's how hard these chops were, man. It
Wow.
was yeah, it was SOG Ronnie Ribs that gave me most of those chops,
Hmm.
and he does not hold back. That crazy bastard does not hold back, but I can't get mad at him. I was the new kid, and he had to break me in, and I was like, "Yo, give me all you got, man, because you ain't gonna break me, man. Come on."
You came back. That's what was
Yeah,
important. You didn't just
I
say,
came
"Hey, this
back.
isn't for me." Yeah.
Of course, I came back. I'm not gonna let some guy try to take me out. Hell no, man. I've seen so many people already. I've seen a lot of people who just falling in the ring and they're like, "Ah, my back. I don't want to do this anymore." Or they're like, "Oh, the warm up drills you guys are doing are too difficult. Oh, the ropes hurt when I run the ropes." Like, shut up, you stupid babies. Okay, grow some balls, grow a backbone, and to just deal with the pain. Okay, because that's what wrestling does. It shows you who you actually are. And I got that same advice. I've been told this by one wrestler, Nicole Matala. She said that wrestling will show you who you really are. It will
Mhm.
tell you who you really are as a person. It will show you if you're strong enough to do it, or if you're weak enough to do it. And these guys, they weren't strong enough. I was. And I continue to prove why I'm strong enough, why I deserve to be in wrestling, and why I deserve the moniker of being called the premier, because that's who I am and that's what I am. I am the premier.
Let's give a shout out to Nicole Matala.
Yes, big
Great,
shout out.
great lady. I worked with her for
Mhm,
Bay State Championship Wrestling just about a year ago.
mhm.
I saw her at New England Fan Fest in July, and wonderful, wonderful human being. She's a great lady.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. She's an amazing woman.
yeah.
She's one of the best. She is the best female wrestler in the independents today. And if no one signs her, then they are missing out on a giant opportunity.
That's their laws. Yeah, exactly.
That is their
Absolutely.
loss. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're based Showcase Pro Wrestling, which is based out of Woonsocket, Rhode Island, correct? Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. I don't remember where I was going to go with this. Jeez, I lost my train of thought there. So you got chopped up, you got your ass whooped, but those are all things. Either your body gets used to it over time, running the ropes, getting slammed, and I guess the impact isn't necessarily as bad as the
Yeah.
first time. Correct. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You definitely your body definitely gets used to the abuse that the wrestling ring puts upon you.
Well, I've seen older footage, video footage. I'm kind of a history nerd when it comes to professional wrestling. A lot of people know that I'm I if it's not 1989 and prior, then I usually don't want to watch it. So that's always a big joke that's going on. So I watched videos of guys like Vern Gagne training, and that the first day he'd get you to throw up, and if you never came back the second day, you know what I mean? If you couldn't take the Hindu squats for hours, running in the cold, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? It's was it something similar to that? Basically, training. Were they trying to? I mean, back then I've read that guys tried to run you off. I don't think it's necessarily like that these days because the business isn't nearly as protected as the kayfabe
Yeah.
era.
Well, it's they do somewhat. Well, they used to back then. Back
Yeah,
then, they did it. They did it a lot. Komatala, would tell tons of stories of her like running outside from uh the school all the way like a block down the road to like Domino's and then running all the way back. And he
yeah,
had to do that like multiple times. And Chris Blackeart, the trainer, one of the trainers there, alongside Don Vega, they would give us homework. And punishment for not doing your homework is doing that, like running from the school all the way to the Domino's that was like a block away. And you had to do that like 10, 15 times.
right.
And they didn't care if it was raining outside. They didn't care if you didn't have your shoes with you. They didn't care if you showed up in sandals. They're like, no, you're not coming in here. You're not allowed in the building until you do that. And they've tried to make us they try to make me throw up. I haven't yet. It's been almost 4 years and I still have not thrown up in Showcase Pro Wrestling. And because I'm too built, I'm built different. I'm built different. But I've seen other people throw up, and every time they do, I always laugh at them because I always laugh at them. It's not because I'm being mean. It's not that at all. No, 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 no. It's because that they can't handle what I can handle. If you can't handle it, there's the door. Get out. And I tell that to people all the time. If you can't handle it, leave. Piss off. I don't need you here. And uh, yeah, so they relaxed as of late. But back then they would get you. They would definitely get you.
Yeah, that's what they would always try to test you, I guess, that way with
Yeah,
working you as hard as you can get. And if you came back, that's how they knew you wanted it
yeah,
every time you came back.
It
And
was
sometimes they would do it for weeks at a time, not just a couple days in a row. They would do it for weeks. I interviewed a guy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or not, Reno Riggins, who was he did enhancement talent for WWF in the '80s, and he worked in the territory system as well. And he said he trained under Tojo Yamamoto. He literally made him run around the Tennessee Fairgrounds for probably months. And then you realized, well, you're finally getting in the ring because you haven't left yet. But months of running in circles on around the field, that's just crazy to me.
yeah.
So,
I got there's a story I wanted to tell. Like there was a time where Chris Blackheart had us doing rolls in the ring.
mhm, mhm.
You had to do all the way around, that's one. So all the way around, that's two. That is when people started throwing up the most. 3 people.
Really?
A class of 10 at the time.
Mhm.
I have a class of 10 at the time. 3 people threw up. And you had to do all of those, and then someone in the middle of the ring had to give you a body slam. You had to make it clean. When I did it all the way around, I did it around like 70 times. 70 times, 70 rotations. And then I had to do like another 30 backward rolls. And I messed up, and I did not do a clean fall. I was pissed at myself. So when he said, "All right, does anybody else have to come up?" I immediately ran out of my seat, slid back into the ring, and I started doing the rolls again. I did it, and I kept going and going and going. And he's like, "Yo, you don't have to do this, right?" And I said, "I don't care." And I kept going and going and going. And he's like, "Dude, you're gonna blow yourself up." I'm like, "No, I'm not." I kept going and going and going. And then the person in the ring, when I was done, body slammed me. I had a clean fall. And then and I was told this by so many different people already, that was when I got the respect from Don Vega, from another one of the trainers, Cargill Vinson,
Mhm.
from Chris Blackheart. That was when I basically earned their respect, when I slid back in there and I was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna let that. I'm not gonna let that define who I am. Nah, I'm gonna go back in there and do it again."
Because you wanted it,
Yeah,
because you want to progress and you want to get to that level.
yeah.
You just mentioned Don Vega, New England Hall of Famer. I was at his Hall of Fame induction this year. Um, Very nice gentleman, if I do say so. I remember watching him in the earlier 2000s and the 90s, and watching him wrestle around here in New England area. Do you have a match coming up with him? Am I mistaken?
So here's what happened. The match was supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I I said that I wanted that match. I've been wanting that match with Don Vega for almost 4 years now. All right. From the time me and him first met in Taunton, and he brought me into the ring. He started having me do squats and everything. He started having me do push-ups, high knees, all this ridiculous dumb things. But he said, "Hey, I see potential in you, and I want to take you under my wing." And I was like, "Awesome, this is great." And what did I get from that? I got a microphone to the back of my head. I got choked out. I got laid out in the middle of the ring with my phone, my wallet, my keys, all the change in my pocket just spewed all over the ring, and him making a joke of it. Fast forward to this year, I'm now the YouTube heavyweight champion in Showcase Pro Wrestling, and now he wants to come after my title. Granted, he's already tag champ. I don't know why he wanted to come at me, but hey, I digress. I told him in that video, I said, you're either going to pass the torch or I'm going to take it from you. I had to take that torch from him. He's already a Hall of Famer. He's done everything he had to do. He's done now. It's time for new blood. It's time for the Premier to be the standard bearer in Showcase Pro Wrestling, in pro wrestling in New England. Okay? I needed this match. And what happened? I'm in the ring. His music is playing. He doesn't come out. I wait even longer. His music plays. He doesn't come out. And then a different person music plays, and it's Chris Blackeart, the boss, Chris Blackeart, and he said, "Hey, just want to let you know, you're welcome. You're welcome for what?" And he's like, "Oh, do you not see who's not in the ring right now?" So Chris Blackeart, in his dumbass attempt to try to get me a part of his group, a part of his little boy band, I don't want to be a part of anything that has to do with Chris Blackeart. I am my own man, okay? And for him to prevent me from taking that torch from Don Vega pissed me off. And it pisses me off right now that I actually am now no longer the YouTube champion because his dumbass actually stole the belt from me. And now we have this doctor in a mask who shouldn't even be in the wrestling ring, who shouldn't even be in the wrestling business in general. He now is walking around with my belt, with my championship that I made special, that I made important. So, you want to disrespect me? Fine. Disrespect me all you want. Talk about me behind your back and all this other crap. I want everybody to know, if you talk behind my back and you don't have the balls to say whatever you need to say to my face, you will remain where you belong, and that's behind me. And if you want to talk behind my back, I'll just do great things in your face. So Chris Blackheart, he can do whatever he wants. I'm just going to succeed even more in front of him. And he's going to be forced to watch what I do.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Yeah. You mentioned the YouTube championship. I saw that you had won that probably, what, last month was it? The month before?
It was June when I won the belt.
Okay. So, yeah. Month before.
I won it against Flawless Nick Diamond, who is one of the best people in wrestling today. Yeah. He is as much of a diva as he is, and as much as how full of himself he is, you can't deny that man's talent. You can't deny how much talent he has in the ring. And I will never talk bad about Nick Diamond, ever. Never. But I did beat him for the belt, so, I am better.
That was your first championship. Am I correct on that one?
That was actually third. My
third. Third. Wow.
The first championship I won was in July 2021. It was the Whaling City. Okay. It was the Whaling City Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
And the first ever Whaling City Heavyweight Champion. Wink, wink.
There you go.
So
you'll be remembered forever as that. That's an important role.
Yes, and there's footage for it and everything. Then the second title I won I was one half of the tag team champions, one half of the tag team champs in Showcase Pro Wrestling with Brother Moon Revan.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm still getting all those demons out of my head from teaming with him. Him and his possessed doll Annabelle. They're still lingering, but they're slowly fading away. They're fading away. But yeah, so then it was the YouTube championship, and hopefully there's gonna be a lot more in my future.
Well, speaking of which, now you appeared on this show in the beginning of either way, either the end of March, beginning of June. We were doing a preview show for Coliseum Pro Wrestling. You popped
Yeah.
up in here, and you said you were coming after all the gold. Obviously,
I
that
did.
didn't. You did. You didn't work in your favor, however. Yet, excuse me, I should say yet, but I have a feeling,
Watch how you phrase things, my friend.
yeah. Well, I want to make sure I get this right because he spent weeks looking for a tag partner. He asked a bus driver, he asked a parking attendant, etc., etc. And
I asked Nicole Matala, as much flowers I give her, she still said no. So,
yeah, so
she still sucks. No, she sucks for that, and I'm gonna take her nachos. But
you finally found a partner in Kevin Kidd. And this isn't your first appearance for Coliseum Pro Wrestling. And, people that are familiar with this show, very familiar with Coliseum Pro Wrestling. With W.O.N Sports, Coliseum is coming to W.O.N Sports, a 1-hour weekly television program. So, of course, the premier Luis Leon will be featured on that program as well. But tell me about it. You trying to remember, you teamed up with Kevin Kidd. That didn't end up in your favor. You ended up walking away from, or Kevin ended up, one of you guys walked away.
I had to walk away from.
Yes, exactly. That's, yep.
I had to walk away from Kevin Kidd because he was in his own mind, he was too arrogant and he wouldn't listen. I told him, plain English, that I was the one in charge. Me, and only me. I'm the one in charge. It's my team. He does what I say. You even heard him in the video saying, I'm in charge. And what did he do? I told him not to do a certain move, to not do a certain maneuver, and he said, No, I got this. Don't worry, I got this. And what happened? He messed up. I had to save him. Okay?
Yeah.
I told him to tag me in. He wouldn't tag me in. And then what happened? Oh, the Vetranos. Well, I don't know which one. Either if it was Luke or Duke or Mook and Suk or whatever their names are. And, the Mario brothers, one of them tagged in, and now they're throwing Kevin Kidd all over the ring, post to post, rope to rope. And now that he's in peril, now that he's hurt, oh my God, I'm supposed to feel sorry for you. Now you want to try to tag me in? No, absolutely not. I don't care about his kids. Okay, I don't care about his girl. All right, that was my moment. It was my moment to win a championship. It was my moment to go and face Hustle and Bustle, or Ukal and Mukal, for the CPW tag team titles. All right, the Bandana Boys. Okay, I was supposed to wrestle Dark and Milk Chocolate for the tag team championships, and Kevin Kidd ruined that. He ruined my opportunity. It was for both of us. It was for both of us. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It was mostly for me. It was for me because I made a vow saying that I was going to go for every single championship in Coliseum Pro Wrestling. And that vow is still going to be met. I'm still going to keep my vow on that.
You've had the opportunity. You've been at quite a few Coliseum shows now, if I remember correct. And I remember, and I was doing my research here, and I was looking through my Coliseum files here, because I record a lot of them. I have a lot on file here. I am, I guess I'm one of the producers or whatnot.
Yep.
So you've taken on, of course, Sunset Steve Garcia.
Yes.
So tell me about working with Sunset Steve. Sunset is a very good competitor. Obviously, at not the last show, but the show before that, he had quite the war with his, which we found out was his brother, Flying Eye, and he's going to be out for a tiny bit.
Yeah. I mean, yes, yeah, as you said, he is a great talent. He's very good in the ring. He cheated to beat me. Okay, he did not beat me fair and square.
How did he cheat? I don't recall any cheating.
He pulled my hair. He gave me a wet willy. He held my tights. He kicked the ref in the knee. He's a dirty player. Okay.
Wow. I don't remember seeing any of that, but okay.
All of that happened. All of it happened. He pulled my ear like a Puerto Rican mother. Okay, and he cheated. Okay. That's the only reason why.
I'll take your word for it. Okay.
Yes. All right. But yes, he is a very good talent. He has a very good talent. He has a very good mind. He is a champion now in New World Wrestling Extreme, and hey, maybe I'll go over there and I'll take that belt from him. Who knows?
Yeah.
But listen, Sunset Steve, he's a great guy. And hopefully he and I get in the ring again and I get to get my win back. Okay? And I will actually beat him fair and square, unlike he did with me. Okay?
I see. So you're coming all for every goal the Coliseum is offering.
I'm coming after
Nutrius X holds a strong will championship. Oh Lord, what the hell am I? Oh, Hunter Tarka, excuse me, sorry, Hunter, is the world champion. That'd be a match I'd be interested in seeing. Actually, either of those, I wouldn't mind seeing you in the ring with Hunter or Nutrius.
Hey, if you want me to be in the ring with Nutrition Plex or Blunder Tarka, then so be it. I will accept the challenge, if you can call it that.
You can take either of those titles, you think?
Either one of them will be a walk in the park.
I'm interested in hearing that. Yeah, okay.
All right.
Now, what about they're starting the women's division? Would you be interested in that? I'm just curious.
If they started a women's division, I mean,
you said you're coming for every title.
Hey, listen, there can always be a power couple. Just saying.
All right. Okay. I can't deny that. I can't say
that. Every king needs a queen. Okay.
All right. I can't argue that. You got a point there. You got a point. So I'm going to tell you, the first time I ever saw you, got the note. I got it up in front of me. Okay. It was, do you remember this event? Southington, Connecticut, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this? The Wild Wild Wrestling. This was a live on Fight TV pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You had the unfortunate, I guess, fortunate situation being put in the ring or being interrupted with the man called Vlad.
Yeah. Vlad.
Which, to me, I think that might not necessarily have been a fair situation.
It was not a fair situation at all. No. He disrespectfully interrupted me. And he didn't even have the common courtesy to introduce himself, nor to shake my hand. Okay? And not only that, it was on Fight TV.
Yeah.
So the entire world saw it, which digs the knife even more into me. So yes, I seen you online with your hair extensions, Mr. Vlad. If you want to get in the ring, if he wants to get into the ring with me again with the premier Luis Leon, then so be it. I'll drop his big ass just like I did at Wild Wild West.
Well, he dropped your ass. I'm sorry.
Look back at the footage. I was stomping him into the corner, and he did not do a thing. There was no.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna have to because I don't recall that. Wow, that's
He,
incredible. Yeah.
he did nothing to me. He did nothing to me. There was nothing that he did.
But I mean,
He,
the footage.
he did
I
nothing.
just remember you being
I look
flattened
at
like a pancake.
I look at the good footage. I
Oh,
look at the
okay.
footage that's available.
Different must be a different camera angle that I was. I mean, I was live in the crowd. Maybe the
Yeah,
camera is
it
still a different
was a
story.
different camera angle. Space aliens took over the footage, and the government is after me. So
Well, you can't trust the government in general. So yeah. So I'm
you
with you
can't
on
trust
that
the
one.
footage, which is why you saw the wrong one.
Oh, okay.
Vlad did nothing to me. I, I
Okay.
was I was healthy and happy.
All right. Yeah. So you weren't walking away, your breath sucked out or any of that stuff. No, none of that happened.
No, no,
No.
no referees carried me out. No, there was nothing that happened.
Okay. I'll go with you that one. Um, I'm gonna ask you about a couple of your opponents, and I want to get your opinion on the matches that you handled. I already asked you about Steve. You mentioned Flawless Nick Diamond, but another guy that's been making the rounds for a couple of years since I've been around. He's a youngster, uh, Stevie Legend.
Ugh.
Yeah, yeah.
He hasn't been making the rounds. Come on now,
No,
man.
I mean he's been yeah,
Uh,
I've seen him quite in quite a bit of promotions here around the way.
Yeah, but I'm better than him. Like it's
Well,
come on,
I didn't say you weren't. That's all. I mean,
come on now, man. He can't lace my boots in the ring. Every time I faced off against Stevie Legend. I've
mm,
had, I believe, two matches with Stevie.
really?
Yes, one in Coliseum Pro
Mhm.
Wrestling, and another
Okay.
one in Showcase Pro Wrestling. And on both occasions, I dropped him. I am 2-0 against Stevie, against a little Stevie boy, and he just can't do anything to me in the ring. Like he can't dim my star. He can't take me out of this off of my pedestal. No, come on now. And in that match, fine. He's making the rounds. He's getting his name known. I give him full credit. I give him full respect for that. Okay, but in the ring, he can't hold a candle to me.
Well,
Not prove.
I'm gonna agree with you on that. I think that he needs to step it up a little bit.
Yes,
Just
he
saying.
needs to step it up.
Yeah.
He needs to continue going to training because my man.
If he wants to be successful in this business, he needs to step it up quite a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell me, you also had a chance now getting in the ring with a guy formerly known as Gorgeous Greg, but now Beautiful Brad Baylor. You've stepped in the ring, and he's a trained under Pretty Paul Roma, Mario Mancini. He's a guy that's got a lot of promise in the world of professional wrestling. So tell me about your experience in the ring with this guy.
He can be trained by Mario Mancini and Paul Roma. Those dinosaurs were great for their time.
Wow.
But I'm being trained. But I'm also on Wednesday nights. I'm being trained by Kenny Dykstra. Okay, from the Spirit Squad. a former tag team champion in the WWE.
Mhm.
So listen, no disrespect to Paul Roma and Mario Mancini. No. Those guys are great. I love those guys. But with beautiful Brad Baylor, you mean you saw the footage?
Yeah.
He beat me, but I walked out the real winner. I walked out the real winner because I had my head held high. Had my head held high. I had a pep in my step still, and he still can keep me down. He can hit me with a couple of fun maneuvers, but he still can't take me down. Hey, he can be gorgeous all he wants. All right, there are many gorgeous people. There are many losers in wrestling who like to call themselves pretty. All right, but there's only one premier. That's the guy in front of you.
So back in February, I'm looking at the footage right now as we speak. Back in February, we at Coliseum Pro Wrestling, you, sir,
Mm-hmm.
didn't have an opponent. Then all of a sudden, some music started blaring over the speakers. It was Run DMC, and now
Yep.
comes Kylon King, and you got to get in the ring with probably one of the hottest talents in the Northeast today. He's everywhere these days. He's going out to the Midwest, out to the West Coast. He's on IWTV every Thursday evening. So tell me about your experience wrestling Kylon King.
Kylon King, he's like you said, he's one of the hottest talents going today. I mean, he's amazing in ring and out. But it was also an unfair match, if we're being honest.
Yeah, well, I
I
mean, they
mean,
didn't announce your opponent beforehand, so
I mean,
you did.
I,
Yeah.
I, I was under the impression I was under the impression I was going to wrestle Lou Jacobs.
Oh,
I made a whole video about it, and he made a video responding to it. I was going to take this dinosaur out to pasture. All right, but then out of nowhere, I see this dude in a flannel coming out, and it was an unfair advantage. Okay, I was going to take the night off. He, he took advantage of me. He took advantage of Coliseum, and hell, he even took advantage of the ref. He took advantage of the ref. Did you not see when he brought me into the audience? That's outside interference to what those children did to me. All right,
he allowed
children
every of these
are
little
elders.
kids to chop you the whole time. I mean,
Yes,
yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
yes. These children should respect their elders. Okay,
yes,
they should
I agree.
not have laid their hands on me. And the match should have been called right then and there. So boo on the ref for that,
Yes,
for allowing that to continue.
I mean the referee probably reached 10 before that, or could have reached 10 before that, and it could have gone to a double count out on top of that. But
Exactly.
he let it
Bad
continue.
offici It was bad officiating. It was not an unfair match. It was not a fair match. It was an opponent that I was not prepared for. So yes, there's no doubt that he was going to win because he had all the advantages. He had more advantages than I did. I don't
Mm.
see that as fair. That's not fair, right, Rick? That's not fair.
Hometown crowd as well. That also plays into it.
He has
Yeah.
a he has a really bad hometown. Then I mean, come on now. Have you seen the roads on that? Have you seen the
Yeah.
roads? Have you seen the stores? Have you seen the people? They're all fat. Man, God,
Hey, dude, come on, man. I mean, come on.
you're not fat. You're fit.
Oh, I'm fit. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So
You're
camera
fluffy.
tells otherwise. Oh, yeah, there you go.
You're fluffy. Okay, you're a
Let
fluffy boy.
me let me ask you, what do you have? What is ultimately your goal getting in here to the into the wrestling business? Because I think that personal opinion, I think you've got a lot of promise. You go out there and you could just, you got
Yeah,
it. Is basically what I'm saying. You're going
I
out there,
appreciate that.
you do a lot out there. You suck the fan in. this is all personal opinion. This is all. I like what I see when I see Luis Leon come out to the ring. I know that I am going to get my money's worth, and the fans are going to get their money's worth every time you come out. Whether you're berating the fans, or whether or maybe you're telling the truth. I mean, we never know. So depending on the town we're in. So I just want to know, what is your ultimate end game? What is your goal here in the world of professional wrestling?
The ultimate goal is to be in WWE. That is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
It's a goal that I am going to achieve one day. And I am predicting in the next 3 years, by the time I am 26 years old. I'm 23 years old right now.
Wow.
By the time I'm
that young.
26,
Wow.
yes.
Yeah.
By the time I'm 26, I'm making the goal right now. By the time I'm 26, I will be signed to WWE or AEW. I will be signed by one of those two companies. I'm making the goal right now. I've been asked this by my trainers as well. What are your goals in wrestling? To be signed in WWE by the time I'm 26 years old.
My opinion, my question is this: what is your trainer's reaction, Blackheart and Kendone? What are their reactions to you saying that? Is it a positive reaction?
I believe that they believe that it can happen.
Okay.
They said they know my potential. They know what I can do in the ring. They know how I carry myself in ring and out. They know what I am capable of.
Mm-hmm.
They know that when I am in the ring, that they are going to see a good show. That I'm going to put on the best match of the night. That I'm going to be the most entertaining person of the night. That I'm going to get the most crowd interaction of the night. Because that is who I am. I'm the premier for a reason. I have all the potential in the world. I have the look. I have the hair for it. I have the face. I have the bod. I have the charisma. I have everything. I am the entire package and then some. So Chris Blackheart, Don Vega, Ken Doan, every single one of them in Showcase, in Coliseum, in PAPW, in NCW, everywhere I go, I will be the best. And they all know I am.
Have you been to NCW, Northeast Championship Wrestling, correct?
Yes.
You've been out there?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I know they used to have a YouTube series on. It's not that I think during the pandemic it slowed down, or I don't know, maybe it lessened up or something. I haven't seen anything like that. Are they still running regularly weekly, or you're not sure?
I believe so. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but NEW, they're doing good. I also wrestle for NCW, ran by John Casey.
Yep.
And
that's it. Yep.
Yep. He is doing great so far. And right now we're on a little break. We'll be back in November and doing more shows in November and November, December, and then it's a 3-month break.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any international goals for you? Japan, Europe, anything like that? Excuse me.
Europe is a good goal of mine. I would love to wrestle in the UK. I've wrestled in Canada before for Island Pro Wrestling. Okay. I went up against Mark Thomas, and hopefully next month I get to wrestle in Canada again. I'm traveling up there with Nokomatala, the current women's champion for the New Brunswick Wrestling Association, also known as Capital City Wrestling,
Okay.
and hopefully I get an opportunity to wrestle out there as well, and
Well,
get my face out to more people and to more eyes.
so what else do you have coming up outside of that trip? You have any events that you want to push, plug? Any events,
Yes,
podcast appearances, bathroom
tomorrow.
breaks, whatever?
Well, tomorrow night. Well, bathroom breaks. In about 20 minutes, I'm about to use one. Uh, for shows, I have one coming up. I have two shows for this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
One is this Friday, is tomorrow in Hamden, Connecticut
Okay.
for Blood, Sweat, Tears.
I will
And
be there actually, so I'll be swinging by in the evening. So
I hope to see you. I hope to see
yeah,
you there, man.
yeah.
And on Sunday, I'm heading up north to Maine for the North Atlantic Wrestling Association.
Okay.
And
Well,
we're going to be in New Portland. We're going to be in New Portland, Maine.
okay. Great to hear that.
Yes.
Tell the people where they could find you on the internet and all that stuff.
Well, you can find me on the Premier Louis Leon on Instagram, Louis Leon the Premier on Facebook. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Premier Louis Leon, and I also have a TikTok as well, the Premier Louis Leon.
I have to find that. Okay. I did not know you were on TikTok. So when you see me go over there, I hope your promos are great there, like everywhere else. You'll see clips of this show. So I
Yeah.
want to thank you.
I'm gonna put more on my TikTok, and I'm gonna put more on my TikTok and on my YouTube channel.
Uh,
I'm already like starting to film a whole bunch of stuff for it, and it's all gonna be in a bunch of fun. I'm filming it with some of the other people I train with at Showcase, the educator Christopher Spratt, the student Daniel Cabral. I'm filming it. Hopefully soon we can get Nicole Matala in there and some of the new guys and Showcase who just made their debut, like AZ, the consistent AZ, and marvelous Matt Michelson.
cool. I want to thank you for joining me this week and look forward to having you back on down the road.
Yeah, I would love to come back. I would love to come back for your show, for W.O.N Sports, and this was a lot of fun. Thank you, Rick, for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. We'll definitely do this again.
Yes, definitely.